but I've struggled with my weight since being about 21. And I've tried everything, and it's not through exercise. And when all the ducks align, when everything's perfect, when I'm in the right place, when I can control everything. In other words, when I first came here, I had my own apartment. I just ordered a small amount of food on an evening, and I could control everything. Then I lost a little bit of weight, but that's you can't do that in life. You just cannot do that. So it was a bit of a last resort. Now, I weighed a while ago 215 pounds, which is about 15 and a half stone. And people around me used to say, oh Chris, there's nothing on you. There's nothing on you. What are you worried about? Do you know what the weight? I'm 5'11". Do you know the average span? So that is about 220 pounds, and the average weight for a guy, let's have a look, is between 136 pounds and 170. So I was 50 pounds overweight, and people were around me saying, "Oh, there's nothing on you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry." Well, the difference is in the UK you can cover up. Well, you do cover up all the time because you never get a chance to go, take your clothes off. So, and clothes hide a multitude of sins, a multitude. So you can put weight on, and get to the point where, but everybody seems to put weight on. Now, I think all the food we have in the UK, we had this with this GSM stuff where there was like a drug in a food, and when you ate it, it just made you want to eat more. They thought it was in fast food, they thought it was in certain crisps, they thought it was in certain foods that when you eat them, you want to eat more, and you never really get filled up. Think of some fast food chains, think of some crisps, and I think the food industry has given us these foods over the years that have made us crave foods. Absolutely crave them. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I've started to take Ozempic, and it was the last thing I wanted to do. Since I've come here, I was on beta blockers, blood pressure tablets, a little bit of this and a little, I think I was on 7 things. Stopped them all. Didn't need any of them. And Ozempic, I didn't really want to put something in my body. But when you're overweight, it absolutely ruins your life. Let's hear some of the words. Oh no, I like being a little bit chubby. Oh, are you kidding? Do you hell is like being a little bit chubby. And no, I don't like people. Listen, when you're overweight, it ruins everything. Absolutely everything. You can't exercise like you should because you're carrying too much weight. I tried jogging and it ruined my knee. Hopefully my knee will come back. But I tried jogging and there was that much fat jangling around, it knackered my knee in. So it impedes you. And if you're a parent, you've got young kids, you can't play around with your kids. You can't have that kind of social interaction with them. So you think being overweight is acceptable? It's not. Then you have the hygiene element of it. Yeah. Even though I was moderate, I was in the obese category. It affects your hygiene. I won't go. It's not pleasant. But then your sex life. When you've got reels of fat everywhere, it impacts. But the biggest thing it impacts is here. When you walk past that mirror and you see a great big blob walking past, a great big blob, it really starts to drain you. It starts to drag you down into a very deep depression. Oh no, it doesn't, Chris. Rubbish. It does. Don't. Just because you're struggling, just because you don't try. And yeah, I'm all for making the best of a bad job. You're overweight, so might as well get on with it. Yeah, you might as well get on with it. No, but I get that. But let's not call black is white. When you're overweight, it massively, detrimentally affects your mind, your body, your life. Let's all kind of agree on that. But now, apparently, as time's gone on, being a stone overweight, it's okay now. We've evolved. No, we've not evolved. Nobody's evolved at all. We've just now become fatter. And people think it's okay to be fatter. Well, if you're okay being fatter, then fair enough. Fair enough. There once was a fairy called Nuff. Fair enough. Ha! I'm here all week. So, just going back to the situation. You can buy Ozempic or Mounjaro here for not a great deal of money. It's the very, very last thing I ever wanted to do. And the first thing that when I inquired about it, I wanted to know what happens when I stop. What's the smallest dose I can take, and all in preparation for when I stop. That was my biggest question that I wanted. So I got some, and about 2 weeks ago, this is where we are in two weeks. Gosh, guys, oh sorry, I've got a bit of sweat on, and I'm taking the smallest amount, which is, I did for the first week 0.25, the second week 0.50. I've had no ill effects, no feeling sick, no, touch wood now, but I've had no ill effects, and my hunger pangs have reduced significantly. But the biggest thing is my craving for sweet stuff, as I don't know if it's imbalanced. You know, when I mentioned earlier about that, I think the food companies and the drug companies that put something in our food that makes us crave it, that makes us crave stuff. Because I got sometimes on an evening, oh, crave. Well, that's been removed. Now I'm planning on being on it for 2 to 3 months max. I mean, never say never. Could be on it for, could be on it less. I think because the weight loss so far has been quite slow. Now, as a man, I'm 60. I am fortunate enough to have a pool that I go to every day, and I manage to do some weights every day, because what I understand that you lose muscle. So to offset that, to do some weight, I just do kind of dumbbells and a bit of chest work. But when I swim, I really push in the pool. So after let's say 2 weeks, I'm down by about 4 pounds, and I know that's not a lot in comparison with something that you hear about. However, I want to do it as just to help me a little bit. So I am ordering my food in, and I'm making sure it's high in protein, and I'm not ordering portions. I'm helping this have a bit of a placebo effect, that now I've got something helping me, I should help it, and we should kind of work together. We should kind of work together to get somewhere. And ultimately, I'd like to get down to my ideal weight, which is about, for 5'11", average build, is about 150, 160 pounds. I'm currently 193 pounds. So that's a lot of fat. That is a lot of fat. And when I look at myself, I can see a lot of fat. A lot of. So guys, if it's something you've considered, I'm not advocating it, I'm not recommending it, I'm not saying blah 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 blah. This is just my experience, as always. For me, it's given me. I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to not have loads of, a big belly and stuff. So I've used this as mentally placebo effect. So I think maybe it's doing a bit more than I am. I've been exercising. I've been trying to get my diet correct, and I should really have posted some before and after pictures, shouldn't I? Ooh, that's a bit revealing, isn't it? No, best not do that. No, best not. That might be a little bit. Anyway, so that's just my take on it. But I think, yeah, if you're in the UK, you're covered up in clothes all the time, nobody sees you, you can pile weight on, and it doesn't really become an issue until you get out of bed and you walk past the mirror. It doesn't become an issue until you get out of the shower and you're walking in and you look at yourself. It doesn't become an issue until your partner looks at you and thinks, I'm only being honest. I'm only being honest. Yeah? Nobody wants to look a big fat mess. Nobody wants to look at that at all and say, oh yeah, She likes me. She likes me a bit chubby. No, she doesn't. She's lying. She's just trying to make you feel a bit better. Oh, yeah, I like her. Yeah, I remember a Jerry Springer. Remember Jerry Springer? Oh, God, that was brutal, wasn't it? The one's got these overweight, 250, 300 pound women on. And at first, they were just placating them. And they had some guys saying, oh, yeah, I really like a bigger woman. I really like a bigger girl. And da. But then the narrative of the show changed. And it was, yeah, but what about your hygiene? You know, what about intimacy? Because to get to the bits that matter, you've a lot of fat to get through. And what about your mobility? What about your sitting in airport seats, on a plane? What about this? Then it changed. And one of the women said, listen, I might be fat, but at least I'm happy. And I thought, yeah, curse you, I love. Curse you're happy. You can't stop laughing, can you? Oh, so happy I can't stop laughing. So I will document in another month's time for guys out there that have thought about doing it. As I say, I am only looking at going on it for a few months. I mean, it could be a bit longer. We will see. I'm altering what I eat. I'm making sure that I have smaller portions. I'm cutting out all the sugar. We know sugar is a new cyanide. We know sugar is no good for us. We know sugar is bad. So cutting out the sugar, having protein, which is in meats and eggs and as many salads and stuff. So I'm doing that bit, and I'm using this as a little bit of a kind of a joint approach to think that, right, this is helping me and I'll help as well, and somewhere we'll get in the middle. And if I could get down to, my target goal, then that would be awesome. Here, unbelievable. Mentally, the mental lift you get, or I'm presuming, even though I've only lost 4 pounds, I feel better. And for all those people that say to you, oh, don't worry, you've got nothing on you. Oh, don't worry, they're lying. They don't want you to be slim. They prefer you to be fat. Because whatever you're fat, they've got what you're not as good as them. I'm telling you the truth. Yeah. People don't really want you to be successful. People really don't want you to be the best you can be. People don't really want you to. I know that's a bit of well, if they're family, they do. Or if they're your mum. But other than that, really. A bit sceptical. So yeah, guys, I'll record it. We'll do it in 2 months. As I say, I'm not advocating it, because taking a drug was the last thing I wanted to do. The last thing. I've come off everything. I've stopped drinking. I think the last time I had a drink of alcohol was about 3 months ago, which for me is a record over 25 years. I can do that here. Could I do it back in the UK? Not a chance. I've stopped smoking. I know. I've stopped smoking. We're about... Let me just look. 20 days. 20 days smoking. Could I stop smoking in the UK? Absolutely not. So in the UK, I was drinking far more alcohol than I should have ever done. In fact, I'd go as far as saying I had a very unhealthy relationship with alcohol. Very. The smoking goes with alcohol a little bit, doesn't it? People who drink tend to smoke. So you stop one and you're halfway there with the other. Really are. But also, I needed, that's a load of rubbish. I didn't need, but in the UK, because my default, I woke up in the morning, I was about a 2 and a 3 out of 10. I might finish on a 5. Here, I wake up on a 7. So where you live has far more, has such a massive bearing. So I think back, if I was still in the UK, I'd be damaging my health by alcohol, I'd be damaging my health by cigarettes, and I'd be damaging my health by being overweight. So being here is a bit of a win-win-win. Absolutely. I'm sorry, that's a little bit out of kilter with the Egyptator's head. I just thought I'd put it in there for guys that are or even ladies, anybody that's thinking about it. And yes, I am cheating. I know I'm cheating. But I'm not altogether sure I am cheating, because I think the food manufacturers have put stuff in food for that many years that they've done something to our brains and we crave food. We crave it, we crave it. I think they have. I think they have. And I think this is just balancing that out a little bit. I think it's just balancing it out a little bit. And the longer you wean off sugar, because I think at 3 or 4 days you're like, the longer you wean off sugar, the more your portions are smaller, your stomach shrinks. That it should be easier for when I stop, because I don't want to keep on increasing the dose, but when I stop to be able to maintain it, because that was all the questions that I asked when I first started. So honky tonks, I hope this has been of some use. I'd say from the people, I know a lot of people have said who've been really overweight, that it's been life changing. For me, it's the mental side and looking in the mirror when you get out of bed in the morning, or looking in the mirror when you get out of the shower. So thanks as always for watching. Really appreciate you taking the time. Hope you have a great day, and we will catch up a little bit later on. Ciao for now.